Unfortunately, I have a hard time with long-range plans in general, financial and career-wise, unfortunately.
I would have to say 10 years.
I have a 2-year plan that will take me to the end of 2009.
I think that you just have to take life as it is. Like, you can't plan it.
Our next guest is a man with a plan, and he thinks you should have one too for a lot of areas of your life. Scott Ventrella is a big believer in running your life like you would run a business. He's the author of Me, Inc., and he joins us now from New York City. Thank you for being here, Scott.
It's good to be with you, Bruce. Thank you.
Give us some context here. Why do you believe people should run their life like they would run a business?
Well, believe it or not, there are many businesses out there that are run very well, and businesses really provides us with some insight. We're all experienced businesses either as consumers or as employees, and we know it when we see it, kind of a thing. We know a well-run business. The question that Me Inc. really answers is, are there some businesses that we can learn from in terms of how to be more organized, how to be more planful, and how to execute that plan? So business gives us those two pieces, the planning and the execution, which we often lack when we're trying to make improvements in our own life.
Business also has a framework in which you're delivering something to a customer. It could be a product, it could be a service. Who's the customer here?
Well, it starts with ourselves. It's you, it's me. We treat ourselves as a customer first, and then we identify, and again, we're talking about the non-business world, but in our personal lives, then we identify those next levels of customers, those people who are the most important to us, the people we have the greatest contact with, and then beyond that.
You've got a number of tools in your book, including one called the Platinum Standard. What's that?
The Platinum Standard is a metaphor. In Washington, D.C., the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they have a 1 meter length of platinum. And it's there because if there's ever a question about the precise length of a meter, you compare against that Platinum Standard, that piece of platinum, because it doesn't break down, rust, or corrode. And so I use that as a metaphor. We all should have our own version of a Platinum Standard. What is that? It is a sense of vision, having a vision for our lives. It is mission. It is guiding principles. By the way, what exceptional companies do is they have vision, mission, guiding principles, very well articulated and communicated and understood, and it manifests through the behaviors. So likewise, we should have our own Platinum Standard, which is unique for every one of us, and a clear idea of what that is, and we can use that, Bruce, to make decisions. We base our decisions, whether it be our personal relationships, the next career, making a transition. We can always default back to our Platinum Standard to make sure that the decision and subsequently the action that we make, the choices that we make, are congruent with the Platinum Standard. You
also talk about the exceptional living plan. What are some components of an exceptional living plan?
Yeah, it starts again with your Platinum Standard. That's it literally is a spreadsheet, and it looks at some of the critical success factors. So in life, what are the things that are most important that we need to pay attention to every single day? Just like a business, where you've got, think of it as a radar screen to monitor performance. What are the things we need to look at? So for instance, relationships, very important. Our career, our spirituality, even finances and education. So there are a number of critical success factors that become part of this exceptional living plan. Then we begin to look at each one of those component pieces and set goals, long-term, short-term. What are the barriers to achieving those goals? And what we're really doing with the exceptional living plan is we're setting goals in context versus, every year when New Year's rolls around and we say, well, this year I'm going to lose more weight or I'm going to read more books. You're doing it in the context. You're laying it out in an exceptional living plan on a spreadsheet, and you're able to make choices and decisions that are the right ones and that fit, again, back into your Platinum Standard.
How do you keep that plan alive? I mean, the task of doing the spreadsheet is one thing, but then you've got to take action consistent with the goals that you want to accomplish. How do you do that?
Well, a couple of things. Number one is there's a lot of work in putting together the exceptional living plan, just like a business plan. The good news is you only have to do that once.
Right.
So I've been working with people for over 15 years, and what I do is I have them schedule once or twice a year, just like a performance planning appraisal and review, more like a review. Take it out, keep it in a prominent spot, make sure you get back and you review it, because life changes. You set some goals, some things change, you need to modify that. So number one is to make sure that you schedule almost like a review for yourself. Now, If there are significant others in your lives, involve them, incorporate them, communicate with them. And in fact, the exceptional living plan, when it involves others and significant others, you want to incorporate them into your plan. Yes, it is about me Inc., but also we live an interdependent life. And so in a sense, you can flip that and say, well, it's we Inc. as well. So
Right.
you want to incorporate others. You want to have others serve as maybe a guide, a coach, a mentor to you to keep you on track.
Where does serendipity fit in? There are a lot of our viewers out there who will be listening and think, I can't plan all that. It would drive me crazy. What about those who have a value around luck, chance, going with the flow?
Beautifully said. And by the way, I'm one of those people. I am not a spreadsheet guy. I'm not a palm pocket guy. In fact, in my briefcase here, I've got a month-at-a-glance calendar. Yes, absolutely. Just like in business, right? You have the best laid plans, but then you get that phone call or you get that customer and they have a very specific need that you hadn't even thought about. You want to be adaptable. That could be actually even part of your own platinum standard. Leave enough room for serendipity, to have some fun, to be playful. And remember, this is about you, and if you're the kind of person that likes, maybe your personality type is more, I want to be more freewheeling, absolutely, that should be part of your plan. It doesn't mean, though, that we shouldn't also be a little bit more buttoned up about the other side of things, being buttoned up and setting goals, and again, in the consistent and diligent execution of those goals.
Very interesting. Scott, thanks for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Scott Ventrella is the author of Me Inc. He joined us from New York City.